Hey, Walter here, and welcome to another comic book convention video. Make sure you check out my other videos and make sure you sub to check out future videos. In this video, I'm going to be talking about my pitch and just how I interact with the people at the convention itself. So most of the times, like if I'm in selling mode, like I'm ready to sell stuff, I'll be standing because this puts me closer to the people who are walking by and it's easier to get their attention. Because most people who are walking in the con are tired, they're distracted, there's so much stuff to look at, they're kind of walking around with blinders on. So unless you're there to be like, hey, come over here, they'll just keep walking. So when I'm standing like this, like, and I'm ready to sell, like I got energy, I'm ready to go, I'll be standing here and I'll be looking for people walking by. So depending on how crowded the con is, more people will be walking by than not. So what I usually do when I see somebody coming up to the table, I have a few things that I would tend to say, and mostly it goes like this. So I'll be like, hey, you want to check out some comics? Or hey, what do you think about Sherlock Holmes fighting ghosts? Or Metal Shark Bro? Or what do you think about Heavy Metal Sharks? So just something like that to kind of take them out of their daze and get their attention so that they'll come over and look at my stuff. And sometimes it's easier, like sometimes you see people and they're already kind of glancing over, and then I tend to do something cute like come on over, check it out, like, you know, like just something to kind of get them over. You get more used to it, more comfortable like talking to people. It still never feels comfortable because I'm a bit of an introvert and shy, so I don't, and plus I'm quiet too, like I don't talk that loud. Like I feel like I'm screaming, and other people are like, you're so quiet, and I'm like, what am I supposed to do? But it gets easier as it goes, and it's okay to get tired sometimes when you're selling and you just want to sit down and you don't want to do anything. That's okay, don't beat yourself about that. Sometimes I beat myself up about that, but it's important to realize that it is hard and it might be outside of certain people's personalities like mine or yours. Of course, you could be an awesome salesperson and you could just be killing it, which, you know, that's awesome. You might need to teach me a few things. So anyway, so this is how it goes. I go like, hey, you want to check out some comics? They walk over and I'm like, so I got my original graphic novels here. I got like Sherlock Holmes meets a Ghostbusters, two crazy slackers on a space adventure, and a heavy metal shark fighting evil stuff. And I'm like, you know, feel free to flip through, take a look, like what types of stories do you read? Sometimes they come over and I can see they're not really focused on one book or the other. So I'll be like, what types of stories do you like? I got supernatural mystery, I got sci-fi comedy, and I have like just straight on heavy action. And they kind of like pick and choose depending on which one they want. They also, this is new for me, I haven't used this too much. Because I've added the third book, I'm running out of room. So I thought this might be a good way to quickly get people's attention and let them know exactly what the book is about. They're not working out as well as I hope because people aren't reading them. It might be too much information. I thought it was fairly simple and straightforward, but it is a lot, especially when people are blind to stuff. So I still have to call people over. Sometimes I notice people are looking more at the artwork, so I kind of let them just look at it. There's not too much to pitch with the artwork. I just say, you know, I have a few pages of prints in the front, and then it's a bunch of original artwork in the back. Let me know if you have any questions, and then I tend to let them peruse the portfolio on their own, because there really isn't too much for me to say about the artwork. I mean, I could go on about the inking and stuff, but they probably don't care too much, and if they do, they can ask me questions. And of course I have my commissions list up here. I don't really push my commissions. I just hope they see the sign and or ask me, because it's fairly obvious. I mean, maybe it's not. Maybe I could get more commissions if I asked. And then so like I tell them about the books, and then at this point I don't have the prices on any of my books, right? I basically give them the spiel, which is like Shiver Bureau, the hardcover is $30. The two soft covers are $20. If you buy any two books, I take $5 off. If you want to get all three, you want to get the trifecta, I take $15 off. So it's $55 for over 400 pages of comics, or something along those lines, depending on what I'm feeling, depending on how excited they seem to care. Sometimes I get people who come over. If I go, hey, you want to check out some comics? They come over, and I can tell already that they're not interested. They were just in a zone, and they were like susceptible to persuasion. And so the fact that I said come over, they're just kind of like, "Rah." And then as soon as they get there, they're like, what did I do? Why am I here? I don't want to listen to this guy. You can sense that some as you do more conventions. And so I still have to pitch them. I did the work to pull them over, so I'm going to pitch them. And sometimes those people convert. So it's like you at least want to give it a chance. It's very rare. And so I'll do the quick pitch. I'll be like, Sherlock Holmes meets Ghostbusters, 2 slackers on a crazy space adventure, and a heavy metal shark fighting demons. Feel free to flip through, take a look, and let me know if you have any questions. So most of the times the people will come up and they'll grab the book and be like, cool, all right, thanks, man. And that's it. And that's fine. Just let them go. Let them go away from the table. They want to go. And technically you want them to go too, because as soon as they leave, you can sell somebody else. So basically nobody's wasting anybody's time. Of course, once I sell them, I say, thanks, do you want to do cash or credit? Just to let them know they have to pay me, and that they should be getting out their money. And then so I have a Square reader, which you should get. It's what I use. I think PayPal has one. So there's other options besides Square. Square is what I use, squareup.com. And basically I do the interaction with the money and write it down, have them sign it or give them change or whatever. And then I grab their books from the stack back here and I say, do you want me to sign it? And then they go, most people say yes. I think everyone said yes except for one person. And he was very specific about which book he picked because it needed to be in like perfect condition. But most people will say yes. So you go, okay, let me sign them. So you sit down, you get your pen, and you're signing. And so the next thing you want to say is like, hey, if you want to keep up with all the stuff I'm doing, like new books coming out, because they bought your books, obviously they're interested. So you can say, hey, sign up for my email list. And I have my email list right here. So people can go ahead and sign up because they're just standing there waiting for you to sign the book. You can do the same thing when you sell prints and stuff. You have to get the prints out of the thing, put them in a bag. So you can be like, hey, if you want to sign up for my email list, sign up for my email list, sign up for my email list. Then you can get email on your email list, and email lists are super powerful when it comes to advertising or selling your stuff or just getting awareness of you out there. So you definitely want to push the email list. It works better than like Facebook or Twitter, Instagram, any of that stuff, because it's a direct line to that person. So definitely think about your email list. Now, the other things you can do too, like if you're not feeling it, is sometimes I get tired, and doing this takes a lot of work. So I'll sit down and kind of be here, and then just as people are going by, I'll be like, hey, how's it going? Or hey, how's it going? Just to get them to kind of look over in this direction. And sometimes like that will bring people over to the table a little bit more organically than me specifically calling them up and pitching. And then they'll start flipping through the books, and then I can give them the pitch. A lot of the times I'm tired when I'm sitting down, so I'll stay sitting down. But I think you can I think it's better to kind of work sitting down, but once they come over and pick up a book, you might want to actually stand up and start giving your pitch for the books, because it's just a little more personal. I've done pitches sitting down, but it is a little bit disconnected, especially now that I have these stupid huge things. It kind of really blocks me off from them. So standing up really helps kind of just be a little bit more engaging. Now, the thing you don't want to do, and I hate this, is you're going to sit down, you're going to be on your phone, and just ignoring everybody. I've never done this to anybody, but I've gone up to people's tables who artwork I've liked, or they have books that look interesting, and I'll be there, and the person will be like this, and I'll be flipping through their book, like looking at it, just waiting for them to say like anything at all to me, like oh, hey man, that book's about whatever, or even just like something as simple as like let me know if you have any questions, right? Like, just something to let me know they give a crap that I'm standing there. And so like I'll be standing there for like a minute, like flipping through their stuff or looking at their sketchbooks or looking through their art, and I get absolutely nothing from them, and I just put the thing down and walk away. Now I know like conventions are super tiring, and it can be like a little depressing if you're not selling a lot of stuff. And so that's why I say it's like, don't beat yourself up if you want to sit down and chill. But you definitely don't want to just straight up ignore the people coming over your table, because like if they're coming over, they will buy something, and maybe that will kind of perk up the spirits, and then you'll want to sell more. And I think it's important too. It might feel a little weird, like if you're standing up and trying to call people over, like, hey, you want to check out some comics? Like, hey, do you like comics? What do you think about a shark fighting demons? Any of those things, it feels awkward. But I've gotten so many sales from people who are just walking, right? They would have walked past my table. They would have never stopped at my table. They would have walked back down the aisle 5 more times and never stopped at my table. They were not looking for anything. They don't know why they were there. But I go, hey, you want to check out some comics? They go, what? Comics? And they come over and they look. And I say like, oh, it's about a slackers on a crazy space adventure. And they're like, that's awesome. How much is it? And they give me their money. And they would have never have stopped at my table. But here I took a second to do something I'm not comfortable with doing, and they came over. I barely pitched the book, and they bought it. And so that was a real eye-opener. That happens a lot. Like if you start calling people over, like, yeah, you might have like 50% or even 70% of the people be like, I'm okay, or just straight up ignore you. I've never had anyone be outright mean to me, but I have had friends who've said that had happened. Maybe I'm just too cute and tiny for anyone to be mean to me. I don't know. It's like, oh, he's just a little 8-year-old. Be nice to him. He doesn't know any better. So yeah, kind of go out of your shell. Just be like, hey, want to check out some comics? Like that's the easiest thing for me to say. Like I do feel weird sometimes saying like, oh, you want to check out a shark fighting demons, or like, what do you think about Sherlock Holmes and Ghostbusters? Because that sounds a little bit more like salesperson-y. Like I'm trying to sell a car, like check out the latest model. It's a V12 8 million horsepower engine. So just saying like, hey, you want to check out some comics? Like that's very innocent, very sincere. Like, hey, check out my comics. So it's a nice little way to kind of get people to come over. So that is how I pitch my comics. Obviously, if you're only doing prints, you won't really need to pitch. Basically, people can see your artwork and they can figure out if they want that piece of artwork. So this is more gauged towards people who are selling original content. So let me know what you think. Do you have any suggestions on what you do to sell your books? Is there anything you would like more information about? Let me know in the comments. Otherwise, be sure to like, link, love, hug, and sub for more sweet, sweet goodness. Peace.